Hi everybody, welcome to CastorsCorner.com. I'm your host Khalil here for another toy of the day. And you can follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner. It's late, I'm sorry. You can follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media. Check out the Cornercast podcast every Monday night for a new podcast this week with our friend Brian from the Fanboy Factor. And check out our shirts and subscribe below. So what do we got for you? So this might be one of my most anticipated figures of the year, as well as the one I had the most concerns and reservations about throughout the year, and I got a lot to say about it, so I guess we'll just get right into it. So I picked up this trailer that also came with this car. So we're talking about Rodimus Prime here. Growing up, I kind of got into, I think, Transformers started really before or as I was getting into things, but I was like 3 or 4, so like the ability to get a Transformer and then transform it was not the easiest thing in the world. And so even back then, some of them were super complex, and so I missed out on the first round. Optimus was always on the shelf. Bumblebee was always on the shelf. But some of the other ones like Starscream, Megatron, well, Megatron was a pistol, so not going to happen. I missed out on most of the Decepticons, to be honest with you, and Jazz and all those. But then I got a little bit older, and in 86, when the movie came out, I was 7. And like that was like prime time. 85 through like 88 was like prime time to kind of latch onto. And honestly, Hot Rod, I liked Hot Rod better than I liked Optimus. I didn't cry when Optimus died, to be honest with you, 100%. I was thrilled to see him step up and become the new leader of the Autobots. And I was sad when they brought Optimus back. It was a fun storyline to watch, but I was sad that Rodimus had to kind of share the duties with him. So I was super excited when they announced they were going to do a Rodimus Prime, having known they did the he's not back there anymore, he's downstairs now. Did a Hot Rod in the 86 line, in the Studio Series line. But I was super thrilled. The thing is, they made him a Commander class figure. Jetfire was Commander class. Skylynx was Commander class. Rodimus, I don't know if he should have been Commander class, to be honest with you. From the perspective of Optimus Prime was Leader class, $50. He was Commander class, $80. And I don't know. I really don't know if it was worth it, to be 100% honest with you. So you get the car, right, and his trailer. They've got flip-up spring-loaded things, so you spring-loaded bars, so that you can slide him in and out pretty easily. That they don't really attach to the side of him, but they're there. For me, the canopy doesn't close completely. There's a little bit of gap there when the gun is in place, when his cannon is in place. That kind of lifts up like this, is removable, and it's got track, so it looks like it doesn't roll. It's just sculpted in, but you can have the peg in or the peg out there, and you can have it set up so that he can fire on and have blast shields. It's got handles as well, so it's a nice piece. There is storage up here that you can see that kind of flips open, and you can store things inside. You can also have the ramp that goes down. They put the little hydraulic lifts in there, which is nice. It does have under storage down here that you can store his weapons in. So I understand why this was a Commander class. I do. I really do. But it still stings a little bit knowing that Optimus didn't get as detailed a treatment as Rodimus did. Just looking at the line as a whole, you get a ton of blast effects here for him. All different sizes, all different shapes. You get his blaster, which folds up and fits in that tray. You get his sword as well. You get some smoke effects for the car itself that fit on in the back there. These don't do much for me, and they don't fit that well. They kind of sit there. And now, bane of my existence, trying to transform a Transformer on camera in front of you and not struggle horribly. So we're going to give it a shot. This might be one of those cases where I do edit the videos because I want to get it so that it looks good. And I've only done this once so far, and I probably should have practiced, but I didn't want to have to keep going back and forth, so I didn't. But he kind of pops apart. He's not as easy as the old one. I think that's the thing. That's the one thing that kind of comes out of all these. They used to be super simple to transform back in the day. Some of them, not all of them, but a lot of them were pretty simple back then to kind of transform. And now, because the detailing is so much more in the favor of the fans, right? Because it really does all kind of, help the fans overall. Because of that, the transformations have been increased, so they look better, but at the end of the day, you do tend to struggle a little bit with being able to transform them and look good at the same time. And so that has been the biggest issue for me. And some of these kind of really struggling to get them in the right position to transform. So I'm going to struggle just slightly with some of this. And he might not be 100% perfect. But we'll get there. So I loved Rodimus Prime growing up. Like, he was my favorite. I loved everything about him. I think that he was... Oh, that's right. There's a little tricky thing in here. So not only do you have to spin the waist around, but then you have to spin the internal arms around as well. And you have to do that so that... Lift those up. There we go. So the arms are actually on the right side of the body, and so that the back piece clips in correctly. There we go. One thing I will say is they still haven't figured out shoulders on Rodimus here. The Rodimus we got a few years ago had kind of wonky shoulders, and the Hot Rod did as well. I don't know why it is so difficult for him to have good shoulders, but it is. So here we are with not the greatest shoulders in the world, but they do work. So there we go. Clip that in the back. Have his hands up. And clip those in. And there we go. Rodimus Prime. I know I struggled with him a little bit, and he's not 100% perfect. I got to fix the shoulders a little bit and the arms. But there he is in all his glory. I like him. I think he's good. He's in scale with Optimus Prime. He's in scale with the other Leader class figures. He looks good. He matches his online or his movie look for sure. He's definitely bigger than the average Transformer, so he does have that Leader class feel. I hesitate to call him a true Commander class figure, just because he doesn't have that oversized look for him. One of the things he does do is he does have the Matrix of Leadership. He does have the clips, so it can look like it's shining. If I can get it in the right spot, there we go. Nope. It does pop out. And there we go. So you have the Matrix, and you can have him holding the Matrix, having it shining. If I can get the grips right. There we go. Okay. Transformers. You know, at the end of the year, I am not going to miss doing Transformers reviews. So he can hold on to the Matrix there. He can do the pose. I will do the pose in the pictures when I fix out the shoulders and the arms a little bit. Live Transformer reviews without editing. Our friends at Emmy Review and Little Geeks edit theirs. And our little friend, Little Geek Ninja, does get some help in his transformations. But they got it up first. They got it a few weeks ago, or a month ago, and I waited a little bit to do it. So, but there he is, Rodimus Prime, with his trailer in all his glory, with his sword and his blaster, and I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be. This is one that I kind of want to keep out in some way, shape, or form, just to kind of keep him out and around, because he's one of my favorites for sure. And so he probably will find a space on the shelves behind me. But there we go. So he's got his giant blaster and sword. I know I complained about transforming him, but he's just so cool. Like, this is the Rodimus I wanted as a kid, not kind of like the pared down version that really didn't have any detail. This looks like the Rodimus from the cartoon. This looks like the one from the movie. The face is great. The details is great. So just, I'm so happy to have him. Not happy about the $70 or $80 price tag, but there he is. So you can check out a full gallery of Rodimus right here up on castorscorner.com. You can follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner on all social media. You can check out the Cornercast podcast every Monday night up on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to that and subscribe to this channel while you're at it. We really appreciate the support, all the new watchers. You can tell I'm struggling. It's late. Doing the transformations really throws me off my game. So I hope you weren't too bored by watching me trying to figure out how to transform this. Subscribe to the channel. The more of you that subscribe, the more cool things we get to do and buy, and we get to share them with you. And I hope you didn't struggle as much as I did trying to transform him, and I hope you enjoy him as much as I am. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night for another toy of the day here on castorscorner.com. Good night, everybody.